Welcome back, Really Dealies.
Brandon, what are you doing here? I mean, where is Eli this time? I don't get it. You didn't turn into a bird like or anything, did you? I mean, Kyle's car just got washed.
Oh, don't worry. She's somewhere safe.
Don't worry. We had to pry our host spots back from the cold hands of the King of the North and the razor-sharp claws of a cat who took over last episode. Now my co-host is missing, and you're telling me not to worry?
Exactly. Now, grab some discount Halloween candy to snack on and get ready because the real deal is back, and we're starting right now. What? What's wrong? Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm Brandon Krakowski.
And I'm Angelo Oriam, and we've got a great show ahead of us with Alexis Alicia, Austin Wietrich, and a whole lot more.
Yeah, exactly. Including an update on my all-time favorite Disney movie.
Anastasia?
Angelo, come on, that's a Don Bluth picture. How many times do I have to tell you that's not a Disney movie?
Every single time, Brandon, because I refuse to believe it.
Okay, while Angelo chases this delusional fantasy of what is and isn't a Walt Disney picture, here's Alexis Alicia with this week's Hollywood headlines. Alexis?
Last week, Walt Disney Studios officially announced the cast for the live-action remake of The Lion King, which made fans of its 1994 animated classic very excited. The movie will feature a plethora of big names, such as Beyoncé as Nala, Donald Glover as Simba, Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa, John Oliver as Zazu, and James Earl Jones will reprise his role as Mufasa. People took to Twitter about the casting. One fan says The Lion King will be the best movie of all time. Another fan says, quote, if Beyonce's in it, it's called The Lion Queen. It's Nala's movie now. And I have to agree because, hello, it's Queen Bey. I have to say, I'm really excited to see this movie because of the live action and the cast. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. But unfortunately, we have to wait 2 years because the movie is currently slated to hit theaters July 19th, 2019. In the meantime, I'm just going to listen to the Lion King soundtrack and count down the days until the release. In other movie news, the official teaser for the upcoming film I, Tanya, was released a couple of weeks ago. The film star, Margot Robbie, who plays Tanya Harding, is brilliant in the new trailer. The movie surrounds Harding's attack on Nancy Kerrigan before the 1994 Winter Olympics, a moment that captivated the world and also ended Harding's career. The film has already received positive feedback and traction throughout film festivals and is expected to be an awards season favorite next year. While watching the trailer, the movie seems to have a comedic spin on it and to make light of the serious event that happened in the 1990s. I truly can't wait to see it because of the pop culture history and comedy. The movie will be released on December 8th.
Thanks, Alexis.
Hey, Brandon, do you think that Eli and I could ever make it to the Winter Olympics?
I mean, if she ever returns... Sorry, I mean, what event?
I mean, obviously, I meant like pairs figure skating, you know? Like, I mean, we would be two teams.
What?
So, yeah, like, you know, listen, I mean, imagine Eli and I are on one team, and then on the other team, because we're hosts, but on the other team, it'd be you and Kyle. See?
Oh, me and Kyle.
Yeah,
me and Kyle. Okay,
yeah.
why do I have to be with him? He's a troll man.
Well, because you and Kyle on ice skates would be like watching a low-budget, you know, Glory of, you know, Blades of Glory.
Yeah, Blades of Glory. It's not the glory of the blades.
My bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, who's gonna live too? Because neither of us certainly have that capability.
Well, you see, that's up to you guys to decide. I'm not going to pick all your battles for you. Now, while Brandon and I work out the kinks of this skating routine, here's Austin Wietrich with his very own rant after my own heart. Austin.
Thanks, Angelo. Hey gang, how's everyone doing today? Well, me personally, I feel like ripping my hair out, setting it on fire, and burying the ashes in another state. Gotta love college, right? Sorry. Anyway, today, you're going to get a little insight into a rant that I've personally been feeling somewhat passionate about for a while now. and it couldn't be better timing, especially with his new album out. Who could it be, though? Well, none other than the wildly popular pop star, Chris Brown. Where do I start? Well, Chris Brown has notoriously been known as the man who put his hands on famous singer-rapper personality, the lovely and beyond exceptional Rihanna. Ree, baby, I love you so much, okay? For those of you who don't know, Chris decided to lash out on her relentlessly after the two got into an argument while in Chris's car a few years back. If you haven't seen the pictures of her from the police report, go ahead and take a look now. Pretty gruesome, am I right? But of course, after a few months, the story seemed to die down, and everyone seemed to stop caring. He continued to be featured in numerous songs, heard on the radio constantly, and continued to be a multi-millionaire. Just over a year ago, he was known to have the same thing happen with his then-girlfriend at the time. What followed was a standoff between him and police at his Tarzana home in LA. Not only did he not allow the police to come into his home, but he also beat this young woman and held a gun to her head. Luckily, she was able to make it out in time before the police got there and came out unscathed for the most part. Does anyone else see a pattern happening here? Who knows how many other times that he's done this? But the man comes out with a 45-song album and everyone wants to act like he's a god because he's attractive and has a nice singing voice. I'm sorry, but no. Anytime I hear him on the radio, I immediately change the station. Not just because he's almost featured in every single R&B song out, but because I can't respect the man or indulge his music whatsoever because of the kind of person he is. Then he comes out with some documentary on Netflix detailing his life, attempting to get some sort of pity party going. Chris, you've been a millionaire since you were 16. Most of us which would kill to have that opportunity. Every bad decision you have made is a choice, and at this point, your word means nothing because you have done nothing to try and change yourself, it seems like. Also, all of your music sounds the exact same. You, sir, are overrated. I wanted to speak on this issue because I think this topic is very relevant, especially with the allegations regarding Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey hitting news recently. I guess there is technically a difference since one could be considered abuse and the other is harassment, but they are definitely at least in the same ballpark. A ballpark that absolutely no one, and I mean no one, should ever step in. I implore all of you, especially you Chris Brown fans, to take a step back and refuse to indulge these individuals in their work. It breaks my heart of what Spacey did because I love his work. American Beauty, House of Cards, not to mention all of his work in theater. But if we choose to pay for their work and to continue to support the celebrities who are like this, then that's doing nothing but putting fuel on the fire. Please think about the impact that this has on people not only in the country but the entire world. People like Chris Brown don't deserve the benefits they have, but people want to look the other way because of the status they hold, the materials they have, and the physical attractiveness rather than the person they are on the inside. Now, I realize that sounds corny, but honestly, that's what I believe in and how I feel. I hope I've made many of you reconsider your opinion and understand where I'm coming from. But that's all from me, not to get you guys down anymore, just keep it in mind. Have a great rest of your week and make good decisions, all right? Stay safe. Brandon, Angelo?
Thanks, Austin. It's good to see people keeping the Angelo alive.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's going to live on forever, just like you and me. Oh, you know what time it is?
Shameless plug time. That's right. Okay, yeah. Wait.
I am the baby driver.
No, we don't. No, Brandon, we don't have any web segments to plug.
Oh, we don't?
No.
Yeah, because of the accident.
Yeah. Wait, what accident are you talking about? Did something happen to them too?
No. It was early vacation.
Oh, okay. Well, they better bring us back some gifts. Souvenirs.
Don't
or
worry,
something.
there's going to be a lot more gifts coming up after this break.
We got a big surprise.
A trampoline? Another pony? Fake IDs?
It's even better. This year, no more back and forth at Christmas. We're not doing the back and forth. Nope, I just said that.
Yay!
A together Christmas like a normal family. A together Christmas!
Hello? Grandpa Kurt?
A passenger has died. So they got him after all. You assume he was killed?
What the hell are you doing?
Firing you.
I'm not leaving this building until I plead my case.
Sure. Good luck with that.
What
the hell is going on?
Say hello to the ID70 virus. Stress hormone levels rise, causing inhibitions to drop and basic instincts to rise to the surface
All traces of the virus should be eliminated in approximately 8 hours.
Welcome back, you real deal Shaquille O'Neals. Now we've got a great music segment up ahead with our music expert, Rob White.
No, actually, Brandon, this one's Rob Segovia, not Rob White. Yeah.
What? I thought, that Rob White, he's our music guy, right?
No, it can be, why can't it be both of their
because
things,
that's
Brandon?
how it is in my head. It's confusing, Angelo.
But listen,
it's confusing.
I say Rob and Rob can talk about whatever they want to talk about and be whoever they want to be, write about whatever they want to write about.
Yeah, that's wonderful and progressive of you, Angelo. Take it, Rob, I don't care.
Back in 2013, Kendrick Lamar took the world by storm when he was featured on Big Sean's unreleased song, Control. As he claimed his spot as the best rapper, he called out his peers and told them to step their game up. It was crazy hearing names like Drake and J. Cole, but one in particular caught me off guard and put me in unfamiliar territory, Big KRIT. I started looking up his name and he was featured on albums that were in my playlist rotation. Songs like One Train by A$AP Rocky and They Ready from DJ Khaled made KRIT the standout man with the best verse. So why didn't I react to his name like the others that Kendrick said? The reason lies in the fact that he made free and critically acclaimed mixtapes, but had not made the jump to commercial success with his albums. His label Def Jam was focused on artists like Kanye West, and KRIT lacked the promotional push. He wasn't garnering the attention of music publications or award shows, even though he paved the way as a pioneer with his unique style. Mississippi rapper Big KRIT is a renaissance man, whose artistry spans his unique ability to excel in singing, rapping, producing, and songwriting. Going back and listening to his work, he was a master in crafting personal masterpieces where he pours out his heart and shows his lyrical prowess. Songs like The Vent and Mount Olympus are prime examples. Then he can switch up with I Got This and Cadillactica, which are bass-booming southern rap anthems which make you want to roll down the windows in your car. Fusing Outkast and Ludacris, he has created his own sound, and his new album is indicative of that individuality. After a 2-year hiatus and leaving Def Jam for independence, KRIT is back with his Forever is a Mighty Long Time, a double album that shows off a great variety, but also a strong cohesion that makes for impactful art. He gets ambitious with separating his personas. The first disc is Big KRIT, a fun ode to his predecessors where his voice rides each beat. With Southern-style production and thematic guest appearances, I found myself wanting more. Big Bank and List T.I., 1999 flies high with singer Lloyd, and KRIT even taps legends UGK on Ride With Me. See, that's the thing. His features don't take away from him, they actually help him deliver the message. They aren't just thrown on filler tracks. The second disc is the Justin Scott side, named after himself, and it shows because we hear more personal tracks, with soul and gospel featured throughout. He gets religious and introspective. His motivational words hit deep. The music speaks motivation too, with timely dynamics through the instrumentation. Jill Scott's accented cadence on Higher Calling and Joy's strong performance on Miss Georgiafornia make for a music experience in itself. His arrangements on the album define his musical genius. To be multifaceted is one thing, but to be talented in each area is a proclamation of greatness. He declares himself as one of the greatest new school rappers and rightfully takes his spot in the pantheon of this generation alongside Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. His name is an acronym that stands for King Remembered in Time, and with this album, there is no doubt he will be. Forever is a Mighty Long Time is without question my favorite release of 2017. For The Real Deal, I'm Robert Segovia.
Thanks, Rob. Looks like we have a music expert in training in the works here.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Angelo, do you think anyone in The Real Deal has the strength to lift Thor's hammer?
I mean, one of the Robs might, frankly. Why? Okay, what? What do you mean, why? I'll buy
Angelo, first off, the only real answer is Dom Carissi because he is a noted champion of light and goodness on Earth. But you should have understood from context clues that we're going to be talking about the new Thor film starring noted hunk Jeff Goldblum and some freaking guy from Australia, I don't know, Dingo McArchie.
Oh, okay, well.
Okay, Josie Underhill's here. She's gonna do it. Take it away, Josie.
And then Chris Hemsworth said, "This movie, I like it. Another." And that's how the third Thor movie was created, Thor Ragnarok. The third Thor movie follows the adventure of Thor as he attempts to prevent the end of Asgard, Ragnarok. After returning to Asgard, Thor learns that he has a cruel sister named Hela, the god of death. She intends to return to Asgard and claim the throne, leading Asgard to conquer the rest of the realms and destroy the peace Odin had built. Thor intends to stop her plans, but ends up imprisoned on a planet on the other side of the universe, where he is forced to fight his old ally, Hulk, in order to survive. He must escape the planet and return home before Hela has destroyed all of Asgard. Thor teams up with his group of Revengers, including Hulk, Valkyrie, and Loki, in order to take back Asgard. This film was directed by Taika Waititi and stars Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, and Mark Ruffalo, reprising the roles as Thor, Loki, and Hulk, as well as new stars joining the Thor movies, such as Cate Blanchett, Tessa Thompson, and Jeff Goldblum as Hela, Valkyrie, and the Grand Master, as well as a guest appearance by Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. With the star cast, special appearances by other Marvel characters, and an awesome Stan Lee cameo, this film was filled with a lot of strong performances and comedy throughout. The film definitely resembles the other two Thor films by combining lots of action-packed scenes with comedy and a notoriously evil villain that is unstoppable. This film differs greatly, though, by not concerning itself with Earth, as the other two did. The plot was very centered on Asgard and Thor's fate. Also, this film seemed a lot more rushed than the last two. For me, the film flashed by, and when the final battle was taking place, I almost didn't realize it. There was less build-up to the major battle and more smaller fights along the way to the final confrontation with Hela, which isn't a bad thing, especially when the fight effects were done well. However, if you like Loki as much or as more than Thor, this film definitely gives you a lot of Loki mischief and some heartfelt brotherly moments between Thor and Loki. The film does a good job of not only focusing on Thor, but also giving characterization and background on other characters like Hulk, who's facing his own sets of problems throughout the entire movie. Plus, the film finally answered the major pressing question: where were Thor and Hulk during Civil War? Apparently having their own problems with the god of death. So I think they're excused just this once. Overall, I would give this film a 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely wasn't the best Marvel movie ever, but one you should go out and see. Also, don't forget to stay for both the after credit scenes. One has to do with the beginning of Infinity War, so you definitely don't want to miss them. That's all I got for you today. I'm Josie Underhill. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Josie, for that super review.
Yeah, I bet you could say it was marvelous.
Oh, no. No, I wouldn't.
That was a single pun, Brandon. You have written horrible puns for the last 2 years into the script. I don't...
But remember, Angelo, we're trying to keep these jokes low-key. Hey! I feel good! I feel good.
We'll be back after this break.
I didn't even write that joke. Welcome back, you delicious honeycombs.
In the system of student-run media, this show is rated among the supreme.
What are you doing? Who's rating us what?
Our head writer in the teleprompter says to. In Muncie, Indiana, the dedicated segment producers of The Real Deal investigate topics ranging from movies, TV,
Angelo, you're
and
scaring
music.
me. Where are you? Where are you right now?
An elite squad member known as Lanisha Huggins covered a certain crime show.
I'm
This
calling
is
the
her
cops
segment.
on you.
Law & Order Spectrum Victims Unit is the largest running crime drama on American primetime television. It is filmed in New York City since it premiered in September of 1990. Creator Dick Wolf produced fictional stories based around headlines of real crimes that have received media attention. To this day, each episode takes a real crime and fictionalizes it by changing major details in order to solve crimes. It focuses on the life stories of each detective, which allows for the audience to have a personal connection to the characters. The show was also created to focus on the psychology of crimes to examine the roles of human sexuality. I love it when the show finds ways to add a little levity without downplaying the seriousness of the issues they cover. My favorite character is Detective Olivia Benson, played by Mariska Hargitay, who is the heart of the show. Mariska has been a detective on the show since 1990. Now in its 19th season, Mariska has ranked up to lieutenant. I enjoy that the case occasionally involves a murder or kidnapping that the detectives have to investigate. With every detail of solving each case, my connection is made when the detectives work personally with district attorneys and medical examiners to help victims. Every time I hear the theme music and the words, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. It is time for me to sit in my favorite spot on the couch and focus on the TV. It is so bad that I could watch reruns knowing the end result of the episode. Everyone in my house knows when Law & Order is on, I have my do not disturb sign on my forehead. I am so invested in this show that it breaks my heart to see main characters leave the show for good. One of these characters is Detective Elliot Stabler, who left the show at the end of the 12th season. His character was dedicated to his job, but his job would bring out the worst in him. It was hard for Stabler to contain his anger when some sex crimes made him think of what could happen to his family. All in all, Law & Order SVU is on my to-watch list every week. I am grateful for the ability to pre-record the show when I am not able to watch it, which means I will never miss a beat.
Thanks, Lanisha.
Yeah, this entertainment judge finds that segment guilty of revealing everyone's secret love for Law and Order.
Oh, definitely. Now, moving on to our last segment of the episode is the one and only Noah Bullard.
Oh, that's right. Now, Noah Bullard may not look like Buddy Holly, and certainly no one in the studio looks like Mary Tyler Moore, but you know what? I don't care what they say about us anyway. Here's a great segment. El Scorcho. Noah?
Thanks, Brandon. I've been feeling pretty angsty lately, so I decided to dive back into the rock renaissance that was the late 90s and early 2000s. From Sum 41 to Green Day, there's no shortage of one-hit wonders and established groups to choose from. Nirvana, the Foo Fighters, Matchbox 20, they all had their critical success in the late 90s and early 2000s. This segment isn't so much a top 5 or a highlight of any particular artist, but a heartfelt tribute to some bands that really rocked my elementary school world. So let's cover some one-hit wonders. The Anthem by Good Charlotte, Face Down by the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, In Too Deep by Sum 41, Last Resort by Papa Roach, The Ultimate Car Jam, Stacy's Mom by Fountains of Wayne. These are some of the most prominent one-hit wonders in my Teen Angst playlist. However, there are some staples of that era that reign supreme over all the rest. The fellas from Green Day made most of their money in this era with their critically acclaimed album Dookie. Nimrod was released in the same year, and their most successful album, American Idiot, was released in 2004. Now, Green Day is not synonymous with pop punk. Lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong said that he wanted pop punk to die, so we'll have to roll with that. To wrap up this segment, I'd like to talk about a group that my EP enjoys very, very much. Weezer is one of the quintessential groups of the rock renaissance. And much like Martin Luther reforming the Catholic Church, Weezer can be credited with reforming the way punk rock was appreciated. From Buddy Holly to Undone, the Sweater Song, Weezer has been giving Brandon and I songs to sing on the way back from our weekly dinner engagement. The world is our audience, but Angelo enjoys it the most. And that'll about do it for me. And you know what? Brandon's trying to destroy my sweater, so he's going to pull this thread and I'm going to walk away. Thanks for listening. I'm Noah Bullard.
Thank you so much, Noah, for that blast from the past. And yeah, we're still on this week.
Man, Stacy's mom must really have had it going on.
Yeah, I'd say. Hey, Angelo, you still there, buddy?
Hanging by the pool.
Okay, well, Angelo's got the song stuck in his head. So while he dreams about hanging around the pool, we're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back with our final word.
Where are we? You have no idea. Hela, the goddess of death, has invaded Asgard.
Oh, I've missed this.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win? She's the most critical human being on the planet. I can't fix that. I'm not Beyonce. You ain't seen nothing. Jackie! Mom? Hi, Mom. Hey, May. Mom? I'm here to see my daughter on Easter. Christmas.
Any identification on the victim? Here's a piece. But Jigsaw has been dead for 10 years.
It's not him. Can't be.
This was on the body. The truth will set you free.
Well, in honor of Eli Brunsman, RIP 2001 to 2015, here's my final word. I recently made one of the best DVD purchases I've made in a very long time. No, it wasn't finally finding that copy of Blue Velvet that I've been pining for months. But no, that was still cool to find. No, dear viewer, I'm talking about the Criterion Collection edition, I should say, of the collected Beastie Boys music videos. Though one might not think of the Criterion Collection, you know, it's hoity-toity, and these idiots are drooling over themselves because of these pristine transfers of John Cassavetes films. They're actually fairly eclectic, and they celebrate some of the greatest achievements in the wide world of cinema across several mediums. Though the Beasties may not seem like obvious candidates for such a collection, watching through these music videos made me realize that they were on a whole other level in regards to visual presentation of their work. The MTV era allowed many artists to put out iconic, indelible, important pieces of film in order to promote their songs in a way that we just don't see anymore. Though artists like Nirvana, Madonna, and Michael Jackson took the medium to astounding heights in their own rights, excuse me, I really do think that the Beastie Boys were on a whole other level. Their music videos were fun, they were fast, they were insane. They displayed unparalleled charisma and control over their vision. Though many directors have directed Beastie videos over the years, their vision never falters. These videos belong in a film preservation collection, if only for the fact that they're so damn distinctive and unique, even ignoring how good these videos are. I'll briefly go over a few of my favorites. For one, I really love the MCA, aka Adam Yauch, aka Nathaniel Hornblower, RIP, directed Intergalactic video. Weirdo sci-fi clothing as they bounce up and down the New York streets and subways, corny rubber costumes fighting a la Godzilla, and unique appliance of speeding up and slowing down film makes this video an incredible, energetic watch. Another standout would be the Shadrach music video, also directed by MCA. Beautifully animated paintings of the Beastie Boys performing create one of the most visually impressive pieces of art I've ever seen in any medium, period. Take that Picasso movie where it's all painted like his paintings, but it's a really boring movie. You did not have the foresight to put one of the best Paul's Boutique jams in your movie, you dummies. Another MCA-directed standout is 3 MCs and 1 DJ, a cut from Hello Nasty. This music video is a lot more simple, capturing the Beastie Boys and their DJ Mixmaster Mike performing that song in a basement. But this simplicity is precisely why this video works. It's a raw look into 4 musicians in perfect synchronicity. Finally, I need to shout out maybe one of the best short films ever made, Spike Jonze's Sabotage video. Frantic camera work, hilarious crash zooms, ridiculous spy action, and just about as good a scene for the why as you can imagine. It's a masterpiece. I would highly recommend this collection if you don't have it already. It's a wonderful preservation of some incredible videos. I'm Brandon Kratkowski, and I'm known to let the beat drop.
Okay, well thank you, Brandon, for that.
No problem.
You know, today I wanted to tackle something that's a little too multifaceted for just a 2-minute long segment.
okay.
So with this in mind, I'm going to give an abridged version of a lot of it. But the topic is none other than the debacle between Tyrese Gibson and Dwayne Johnson over future Fast and Furious installments. Now, to preface, I recently went on a binge of the series with some friends, but I have not seen the most recent 2 films yet. So if something massive happens that changes my mind entirely, well, that's just how the cookie crumbles. But surface level, to summarize, Tyrese Gibson has threatened to quit the famous car-studded series if The Rock is going to continue being a part of it. Many are suspecting that this has to do with The Rock pushing for a standalone film featuring just him and Jason Statham, which would exclude like the family vibe that they've cultivated over the years, you know, that feature many recurring actors with a very tight-knit bond with one another. Now this is where my abridged version is going to kick in, because I want to focus as actors and characters more than anything. Because on a personal level, Tyrese has a lot of controversy surrounding him that I don't even want to address, because frankly and honestly, I don't really know what's true at this point and what's fiction, so I'm not even gonna tackle it. Plus, despite the public seeming to grow tired of him, I'm personally not sick of The Rock yet, so this is a bit biased. But looking at the situation completely from afar with the information I have, Tyrese threatening to quit leaves me with this reaction exactly. Okay. Later. You know, I mean, while I understand perhaps where he's coming from, he just doesn't have the draw that The Rock has, not as an actor or as a character. I mean, who cares about Roman Pierce? I know I don't. You know, I mean, the guy who was introduced in that god-awful second installment that only featured 2 main characters and was essentially separate from the rest of the series? Boy, that sounds a bit familiar and a tad hypocritical, doesn't it? As a whole, does it seem a bit selfish for The Rock to push for a standalone installment? I mean, yeah, a bit. But step back and look at this series and realize that it could not possibly make less sense than it does now. I would never say that acting is an easy job, by any means. But Tyrese, your job has been to show up choppily say some lines, hand the keys to a stunt double, and rake in the paycheck for years now. So if you feel inclined to bow out of one of the highest grossing franchises in history, and if you think you have the negotiating rights to do so, good luck, I guess. I mean, now this may entirely be a marketing ploy or a PR stunt or something like that, and if so, they certainly did a great job of grabbing everyone's attention. But if it isn't, from my standpoint, I can't say you'll really be missed, buddy. I'm sorry. So
it's like, what's The Rock cooking? He's got like the steak, and like what's Tyrese cooking? He's making Hamburger Helper, hamburger edition, like the hamburger edition of Hamburger Helper.
Moldy pork chops.
Oh, oof.
We're talking a big job.
Like 2015 expired. I don't know where that joke was going, but I couldn't agree more with you, Angelo.
Thank you, Brandon. That means a lot.
Oh, no, it doesn't. And seriously, don't worry about Eli. She lost her voice in a Little Mermaid-esque accident, and she just asked me to fill in.
Whew,
she really wanted a fin. Like, you know, she wanted legs. Eli wanted to swim with the fishes.
Well, good. Well, now that things are wrapping up, I mean, let's just, for more on The Real Deal, check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages on news and updates and all things entertainment. I'm Angelo Oriema.
And I'm Brandon Krakowski. I'm incredibly sorry. We'll see Angelo and Eli next week.